Hello and welcome to another edition of Power Wheel, a production of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Work is ongoing to deliver a 330 kV Osogbo-Akure Benin transmission line, TCN says. TCN NNPC meet over new gas pipeline routes to new power projects in Kano and Kaduna. To boost capacity building that will drive the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program TREP, the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria, NAPTIN, is currently training TCN engineers. We have more reports coming from the power sector, and we urge you to stay with us on this edition. I am Chinwenwa Anyao. The Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, says work is ongoing on the construction of a second 330 kV transmission line that will carry bulk electricity to Akure, Ondo State, from Osogbo in Osun State, and transmit up to Benin City in Edo State.
The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Muhammad, said this recently when he received the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Agbola Ajayi, who was on a courtesy visit to the TCN corporate headquarters in Abuja. He said,
"The 330 kV substation in Akure is substantially completed. The challenge we have is that the line to bring the supply is what we are on. I can tell you that 330 kV substation, which I visited, is one of the best construction I've seen in this country. It was well done."
He said TCN will be requiring the support of the Ondo State government to intervene on issues of transmission lines right of way, so the project can be completed to provide more flexible means of serving the states with bulk electricity.
That means we are going to require to work with Ondo State government to connect the existing 132 to the 330, so that we can have necessary flexibility of supply of Ondo. But if we connect the 330, the supply of Ondo will substantially change. That's the reality.
Mr. Mohammed told the Deputy Governor that the support being sought from the state government is mostly to clear issues around the transmission lines right of way in the state.
But we need you to support us on those areas that are in Ondo State, so that we can, what we are working on, how we can quickly complete the Ondo-Osogbo line, so that we can connect the substation at Akure.
The head transmission service provider, TSP, at TCN, Engineer Victor Adewumi, said TCN was working on other projects in the state that will boost the quantum of bulk power delivered to the states.
In Ondo too, we know presently we have a 2x40 MVA there. It's from Ondo that we are supplying up to Ore. Even up to the whole find all of that area is being supplied through the substation in Ondo. So we are actually working there to make sure that all the equipment are okay, so that the supply to that area is improved.
He further explained the impacts the transmission line being constructed to Ondo will have, saying,
"Again, just like MD said, by the time we complete the 330 kV substation in Akure, of course, the supply to that area will certainly improve, because we know presently we have a line constraint. Because presently we are supplying Akure through the 132 that is coming from Osogbo. That line is currently supplying 80. So, and I know at Akure, presently we have a 2x60 MVA there. We commissioned one to recently. So we have 2x60 MVA. And again, we have another 1x30 MVA there. So that is 150, there is no way that the line can cope with that capacity. More so that we call it supplying 80. That is having 2x40 and 1x60 now. So the best solution that will improve the supply to Ondo is when we complete the 330.
The Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Mr. Agbola Ajayi, commended the TCN management team for the giant stride it is taking on delivering transmission infrastructure.
I'm here to first congratulate you for the wonderful strive you have achieved since you came about, particularly when you came to Akure to commission the 2x60. I must confess to you that that has actually increased the supply of electricity in Akure and its environment. We thank you for that. I'm here, like I said, to appreciate your organization, not only from those states, but the giant strive you have achieved in the area of improvement of the electricity in Nigeria. This has really increased the GDP of our country. We know where we were before, we know where we are now.
Mr. Ajayi noted that the state government will collaborate with TCN on protecting the infrastructures and to intervene in resolving the transmission lines right-of-way issues.
We will collaborate with you to say that we protect your property, your facility. We protect them very well. Here are one or two crises in terms of power line, distance and that. I can assure you that. Please bring it to our notice and we will intervene and make sure that we resolve the matter amicably.
Responding to the Deputy Governor's plea on the intervention of TCN in critical areas of power infrastructure in Ondo State, Mr. Mohammed said,
I promise you we are going to work with you to see how we address some of those challenges. It's our duty to provide bulk electricity across the country and we are willing to do it. And the government, your government is also supporting us. That's why we have raised significant amount of investment that have not been raised before in the history of this country. We have also changed the procurement system. We are not doing contract like before.
Management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria and a team from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, have met on strategic ways of delivering more power to Nigerians.
Sharing the meeting at the TCN headquarters in Abuja, the Permanent Secretary Power in the Federal Ministry of Power Works and Housing, Mr. Louis Edozin, said the NNPC plays a significant role in the power sector, especially in gas supply. He urged NNPC to provide information on Abuja, Kaduna to Kano, AKK gas pipeline project, which connects to the existing Ajokuta gas pipeline.
When will the pipeline be ready? What assurance is there that it will be filled with gas and you want to participate in a competitive procurement with a generator? I think that's the substance of the information we are requesting from NNPC.
The Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, said the collaboration with NNPC, especially on gas provision, has helped to improve power generation and transmission in the country. He said,
the power sector, and therefore the power sector cannot operate without NNPC. We are just a marriage that I can say most of the time is NNPC actually that is supporting the power sector, not the other way around.
Mr. Mohammed made a presentation of the Transmission Rehabilitation and Expansion Program, TREP, to the NNPC team. He said TCN has raised $1.63 billion for those projects and that they will significantly improve bulk electricity transmission capacity nationwide when they are completed. The TCN boss said having conventional power generation companies in Kano is feasible once NNPC can make gas supply available. He added that having such plants would help to stabilize the national grid around the area, as currently wheeling power to Kano often experiences poor voltage due to the long distance transmission.
If we have that generation for 20 years in Kano, 631, it means that we have stabilized the grid in Kano, and therefore all those supply that will come from Kano will just make Kano a good industrial base.
He advocated for more collaboration with NNPC on providing completion timeline for the Abuja to Kaduna to Kano AKK gas pipeline project, which will facilitate having power generation plants in Kano, while TCN works to stabilize the transmission grid in Kano with the Northern Corridor Transmission Project. He said,
we want NNPC to provide commitment on the deadline for the completion of the AKK, whether it's really a reality.
And we also need NNPC to facilitate a gas supply through a JV with IOC to be competitive. We want to support the competitive procurement of generation.
Speaking, the Managing Director, Gas and Power Investment Company, GPIC, subsidiary NNPC, Engineer Hussein El Yaqub, said the AKK project is part of a larger project the NNPC was working that includes situating 3 power plants in Abuja, Kaduna, and Kano.
That pipeline project is a 40-inch, 600 plus kilometers. That is the AKK, if I'm interested in the car, okay? And it's an integrated project with the power plants. So we have 3 power plants to be located in Abuja here at Babalada, close to the existing new NRPP substation, just less than 1 kilometer. So what I'm saying, we have power plant here and the existing new NRPP, so it's less than 1 kilometer, just like a jumper. There we'll have 3 blocks of 450 megawatts each. That's what makes it 1350, 1,300 megawatts.
On the project execution, he said the federal government has directed the Ministries of Finance, Power and Debt Management Office, DMO, to guarantee the procurement of the projects in various forms.
The pipeline has been awarded by the Federal Executive Council, I think 3rd quarter last year, or 4th quarter last year. December, okay, 4th quarter last year. That's when it was approved by the FEC, Federal Executive Council. And we have already executed the EPC contract. We have started what we call the early works. The early works constitute, the detailed design, survey, and other site preparation.
In his closing remarks, the Permanent Secretary, Mr. Edozin, said more stakeholders, including the power distribution companies, DISCOs, and the Nigerian Bulk Electricity Trading PLC, NBETS, should be integrated in meeting process so they can devise plans of absorbing the additional power in the near future.
There's a lot of coordination work ahead if this thing is going to work. Absorbing 3,600 in our current state and ensuring it is paid for so that we don't repeat the mistakes of the past is an important undertaking. So I think I want to align with what the TCN MD has said. I think immediately there should be a more synergistic approach. I think you need to get the team together. We need to involve TCN. My thinking is some of the distribution companies who have already indicated willingness to expand their networks with additional investment and contract directly for power, I think they should be brought in, and NBET should be brought in to have some initial discussion so that we have a game plan of how over the next 3-4 years we're sure that this 3,600 you are planning will be absorbed and more importantly will be paid for.
Do not build under transmission power lines for your safety and health. Electricity power lines and substations, either for power transmission or power distribution services, are extremely dangerous when exposed to direct human contact. These power lines and substations transmit electricity that lights up our homes and offices, power our computers, TVs, and refrigerators. On the other hand, the same electricity when exposed is extremely dangerous. It can shock, electrocute, and kill anyone on its way. That is why everyone must adopt safety measures whenever we use or are close to electricity facilities like power lines or substation or transformers. For the safety of the people and animals, governments all over the world have approved way leave or right of way of 50 meters for 330 kV power lines and 30 meters for 132 kV power lines, and for 33 kV lines the way leave is 15 meters. People are not expected to be found within this way leave or right of way for safety reasons. The lines can suddenly cut and fall to the ground with very disastrous consequences such as fire and electrocution of anybody and destruction of anything, be it vehicle, houses, or vegetation on its line. It has also been established that power lines and substation emit electromagnetic fields, EMF, which is dangerous to human health. The World Health Organization, WHO, has warned that people who spend long hours under or close high-tension lines stand the risk of being affected by EMF and be vulnerable to cancer, leukemia in children, miscarriages among pregnant women, and other terrible diseases. It is therefore advisable not to build any structure or operate any business under or near any electricity high-tension lines or substations. TCN wants you to stay alive, stay safe, stay healthy, avoid power lines. This message is from the management of Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN.
Capacity building in the power sector has just been given a boost as the National Power Training Institute of Nigeria commences training of 600 engineering staff of the Transmission Company of Nigeria. The training, to be held in 3 batches, covers construction and maintenance of transmission lines, transformer maintenance, and power system protection.
Speaking at the kick-off ceremony of the training at the NAPTIN Training Center in Lagos recently, the Managing Director, CEO of TCN, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, said TCN has performed remarkably in its expansion drive as he counted on the support of the staff.
We have installed more transformers in the last 2 years, more than what was done in previous 15 years. You know that. You know that we have achieved frequency control that has never been achieved in the history of Nigeria. We have achieved frequency control that has never been achieved in the history of Nigeria. We have also done a public procurement of spinning reserve, where we have procured 260 megawatt of spinning reserve. We have forwarded to NAC and we're waiting for the approval. You know that this has never happened in the history of Nigeria. This is the first time that this has happened. Our effort to ensure to continue to stabilize the grid will continue. And we will continue to count on you for support to ensure that we move to the next level. It is true that manpower are the most important people among any organization. And let me also tell you that we'll work hard to ensure that we improve on our welfare. We have done some little in the last 2 years that we are here.
He said the training will translate to best opportunities for staff in delivering effective services. To the trainees, Mr. Mohammed urged them to be transparent and ensure effective performance to advance TCN.
So we need to build the culture of transparency and accountability and performance. And this is working. It's working. I can tell you we have some of the best people in TCN.
He further noted that while TCN is making frantic efforts at transforming bulk electricity transmission process in Nigeria, the distribution section of the power sector value chain needs more investment to match the investments in transmission.
We have 737 interfaces between us, the distribution companies. Currently, only 421 of the 737 are completely protected. If you look at some of the transformers that are failing from transmission, there are those transformers that we are feeding distribution customers directly from our network, which means every fault on the distribution side will hit our transformer. That's what we are doing. It was on the basis of that that we have written to both the Minister of Power and the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, and we asked them to capitalize the discourse.
The General Manager, Lagos Region of TCN, Mr. Lamina Adebola, said the training to build the capacity of TCN engineers was quite apt as the company has articulated policy to expand infrastructure.
TCN commissioned more transformers and substations more than any previous management we have ever had. You also recall that a month ago, we achieved another landmark in this country. We commissioned the first ever offshore substation in the country. I know it, you know it, all done by in-house workforce. So there have been well-articulated policy of the present management to develop the workforce practically.
The Acting Director General of NAPTIN, Mr. Ahmed Bolaji Nagode, said 600 staff of TCN will be trained during the program. He noted that 246 trainees are in the first batch, with the training holding simultaneously in Lagos, Kaduna, and Kainji in Niger State. The training sessions consist of transmission lines construction and maintenance, transformer maintenance, and power system protection.
In the first stream, where we're going to train 246 staff of TCN, we have decided, to really divide it into 3 work streams. Overall, the MDTCN has approved that about 600 staff of TSP are trained, under this arrangement. This is very remarkable because I would like to share my experience, with staff of TCN who we trained last year under the Association of Power Utilities of Africa sponsored, training. The testimony were quite revealing.
Nagode, while urging the trainees to give their best during the 7-week training period, lauded the TCN Managing Director and Chairman for the Executive Board of West African Power Pool, WAP, Mr. Usman Guru Mohammed, for his support to NAPTIN.
We're bringing you more reports in the Power Flash segment. Please don't go away. Here are comments on our feedback segment for this edition. On our Facebook page, we have the following comments. TCN recently procured 3 reactors which it delivered to substations in Apir, Jos and Ikotekpene. Ali in his comment says, kudos to TCN. That's the beginning of next level in the transmission. Confirming the arrival of the reactors, Seidu Zakari commented thus, yes, it has arrived at Apir safely. A resident of a benefiting location, B.S. Akpadiaha Jr., has this to say. Thanks, management. We received it with thanks from the host community. The media toured the 132 by 33 kV transmission substation in Abuja to see the fixing of a disused 60 MVA transformer by the TCN in-house engineers. The comments on this. Engineer Stan Onyabo says, that is lovely. I would like to work with you guys. Tony Eric, showing his excitement, says, really want to do business with the company. A Facebook user, Samuel Ugu, identified with the picture post as he says, working on tap changer, that's great. Engineer Adeka Jerry Adeka commented this way, kudos, I love that. That is what made us who we are. On our YouTube page, a viewer identified as Awal Adamu Gaya commented on the 63rd edition of Power Wheel video posted on the site. We also have comments on the Twitter page. The post on TCN completes installation of 300 MVA power transformer in Alaoji, delivers brand new 150 MVA power transformer to Kumbotso substation, attracted the following comments. A user, Mustafa Shuaibu, with the handle at Mrs. Beta, tweeted this. I can see the effects of that Kumbotso on our lights. It's close to a week now that we have been enjoying uninterrupted power supply. Another user, identified as Mina at Mama Najwa, simply responded, major. We're glad you followed us through on this edition. Join us next week on the same station for another edition of Power Wheel. This episode and the previous ones are available on our YouTube channel. And you can also connect with us on these other platforms showing on your screen. TCN is committed to wielding power for national development. Help support this cause by guarding against vandalism of transmission lines, towers, and substations in your locality. I am Chinwenwa Anyanwu. Goodbye.